To program irrigation, we're going to go ahead and go Enter Menu, and then we're going to go to Program Equipment, and as you can see, we already have a device programmed for irrigation. I'm going to go ahead and hit Enter Menu, and then what we're going to do is go through the different irrigation programming types. Now, if I hit plus to expand none and make this channel irrigation, the first option is the mode. Now, scheduled irrigation mode allows you to turn on irrigation for a duration, the on time, up to 6 times. What you want to do is you want to put and calculate your on time, and we're going to put like 5 minutes as an example. And then you got up to 6 start times per day. You could use NA to indicate unused time slots. Now, if we go to the next screen, the next screen allows for enabling and disabling for entire days, and this comes with a 2-week time span. 1 indicates enabled, that it will water that day, and 0 means the irrigation is disabled for that day. So for this example, we got irrigation watering every other day, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the screen previous, and we have irrigation coming on at 7, 8, 12:30, and 4 p.m. And what I'm going to do is go into the next output, and we're going to do accumulated light with its own video due to the complexity of this irrigation equipment type. Next, we're going to talk about cycle. Now, cycle irrigation mode will turn on and off a valve at some repetition rate during a timed window. As with the other options, your first entry is the on time, which will scroll down to here, and I want it to come on 1 minute. Now here, we have start at 12, end at 12. Now you can make this at a specific time, or you can have it go sunrise or sunset. You can do it astronomically. But if I hit next, you got the cycle time. Now the cycle time will have it at 5 minutes. So if the cycle time is 5 minutes and the on time is 1 minute, then the off time is 4. So the cycle time is the combination time of the on and off time. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about trigger irrigation. Now, the external trigger option is designed to turn your irrigation valves from an external switch, such as a monetary wall switch or a soil moisture sensor. The external trigger input should already be assigned in the setup input screens, and you would have to look at the setup input screens location, and right now it's assigned to digital input 1. Note the digital input has an internal 10K pull-up resistor up to plus 3.3 volts. If the external trigger input is pulled low by an external device for more than 50 milliseconds, then the input is deemed valid. Next, we got soil trigger irrigation. Now, soil trigger irrigation, you will need a soil sensor installed on this controller, and right now we have a soil sensor attached to AIN3. And if you go ahead and scroll through the settings, you have the on time, which is 1 minute, the start time, you have the end time, and you have the input, which soil 5 is AIN3. Now below that you have the threshold. Now the threshold is a percentage VWC, which is volumetric water content of the soil sample. So if the soil sample gets below a certain threshold, then the irrigation will in fact trigger on. Now you also have the off time, which is 8 minutes, but we're going to change that to 2 minutes. Now if we hit plus again, we have cycle temp irrigation. Now the cycle temp mode is similar to cycle, but it allows the on duration to be adjusted based on interior temperature. So if we go ahead and scroll next, we have a start time, and we have an end time, and we have a cycle time, and we'll make it 3 minutes. And we'll hit next. Now on this line, line 3 specifies the high temperature threshold. And what we want to do is go ahead and put the high temperature threshold to be 80 degrees. And we're going to scroll down to here, and we're going to make the cycle time be 2 minutes. And then for the low temperature threshold, we're going to make the low temperature threshold be 70 degrees. And once you get 70 degrees, we're going to go ahead and make this cycle time be 1 minute, as you can see it right here. Now for the parameters that we have inputted, when the interior temp rises above the high temp threshold, the irrigation will follow the high temp cycle on time. When the interior temp falls below the low temp threshold, the irrigation will follow the low temp cycle on time. But when the interior temp is between the high and low thresholds, the on time will be proportionally calculated according to how close the temperature is to either the high or low threshold. So for example, if the temperature is 75 degrees Fahrenheit, interior temp, it would cause the irrigation output to cycle for 1 minute and 30 seconds, which is the difference between 2 and 1 minute. And now that we have covered the various options for irrigation, you want to hit back to save your settings, and that's our irrigation video.